Hi, it's Paula. It's time for another episode of Secure Hacks Weekly. Today I'm going to talk about Sysmon, written by Mark Russinovich and Thomas Garnier, that you can get from sysinternals.com. Pretty amazing tool. Sysmon can be useful for you because it provides pretty detailed monitoring about what is happening in the operating system, starting from process monitoring, going through monitoring of the network, ending up with discovery of the different types of exploitation techniques. In this episode, I will show you how to set up Sysmon correctly, how to update it with a custom configuration, plus I'm super excited to show you tools that our team wrote to support system logging and to extract information about what is happening, for example, with your processes communicating with the network. Okay, so let's dive into Sysmon.
Okay guys, so what we should start by now, it's an installation of Sysmon. So we've got an installation files, sysmon.exe, and well, we can just run the question mark here to find out what kind of options do we have. And one of the interesting things is that even though you don't specify any particular settings, Sysmon will be installed without any problems, and that's what we're going to do at the very beginning. But as you see, there is an option -C, and we are able to update the configuration whenever Sysmon is already, for example, installed, and that's what we're going to do. As well, we are also able to specify the hash algorithms. We can specify SHA-1, but here you've got also plenty of other options. This one is particularly interesting. Imp hash, it's like an imports hash, and we are able to rely on the list of imports for the certain image file. Quite interesting, especially when developers are changing versions of the file and so on, but the list of imports remains the same. Also, what we've got is the -L, so loading of modules. Why not? But we've got also, for example, interesting, which is -N, which is logging different types of network connections. We're going to actually do a quite interesting stuff around that. This one is very cool. Check for signature certificate revocation. So we are able to verify well, the signatures and if the certificate was revoked or not. Anyway, let's move on and let's install Sysmon. So I'm going to clear the screen and then Sysmon one more time, and we do -I to install it, -H, for example, we're going to specify that we would like to log MD5, for example, and then we're going to do -L. So we're gonna log different types of modules being loaded, and so for example it could be a DLL and so on, and next step we're going to specify it's -N. That's going to be our Sysmon installation, and for now we can verify how it logs within the event log. So I'm going to start event viewer over here, and we're going to go to applications and service logs, Microsoft and Windows and Sysmon. Let it begin. Here we go, this is the place where it is. And we've got Sysmon operational log, where we've got all the details that we have chosen loaded. Of course, there are much more different types of events we could use over here. We've got right now 10 events to be logged. By default, some of them are not logged. This is a subject for another video where we will be talking about the create remote threat and row access to the disk. For now, we're going to focus on extraction of hashes from the log and also extraction of IP addresses. Sysmon is great because it allows you to monitor, in our configuration currently, a process create event and also process terminated event. So whenever, for example, process is started, here we are able to spot that this particular process, for example, had the following parameters of execution. This is the process ID, unique process GUID, and the command line that was used over here, also who was executing this, and what was the parent image that was launching this process. This is pretty interesting when you are analyzing well, a lot of things, but for example, who started certain executable, which is for example malware. Yes. Okay, so having access to the log, what is interesting for us by now is to verify what's the path. So we can go into properties of the log, and we see that it is in the standard path, which is Windows System 32, win-init and logs. So I'm going to just copy this path, and we're going to play a little bit on it. But first of all, we will update the Sysmon configuration. So let's do it. I have created before recording this video our config file, and this is Config Xml, and that config file contains, well, first of all, schema version, which is quite important depending on which Sysmon version you actually run, and we will update the configuration by different hash algorithms. So in this case, we're gonna not only log on MD5 but also SHA-256. And we are including here all of the network events. So this is quite maybe surprising, but we are excluding nothing. So it means that we are logging on everything. And in this case, I'm launching create remote thread, even though we are not focusing on this one this time. And also row access read, and I am excluding different types of events. And here I am including for the create remote thread different types of events. Okay, so let's update the Sysmon configuration, and we will do sysmon -c config.xml, very easy, and based on that we are able to update the configuration, very easy. And from now, when we verify within the event log what's happening, we should be able to log on different types of hashes, not only MD5, we can just maybe start some CMD and so on, but also SHA-256. Yeah, so this is the setup, and as you see, we got a very nice difference here. So when we focus on this event, the only thing that we've got is MD5, it's over here. But when we focus, for example, on this event here, we also have SHA-256. Yeah, so this is how we can see that the configuration is updated. Okay guys, so basic stuff is behind us. Now it's time to focus on something interesting. One of the things that we're gonna do is that, let's say for now you would like to export the system configuration in order to have it deployed within the enterprise. Why should we do that? Well, who knows, maybe you have just lost the configuration file, or you have updated configuration in so many different ways that you are like, right now I would like to have that out. Unfortunately, Sysmon for now does not provide an option to export the configuration file. The only thing we can do is sysmon -c, and that shows us a configuration in a kind of nice way, because it allows us to see what is out there, but you cannot just take this and you cannot save it in a text file and import it somewhere else, for example. So this is quite confusing. We can always go to the registry, so regedit, and go to Sysmon. So we've got that settings in system, current control set, and then we can go to services. And we can spot over here two things. One is Sysmon, and another one is Sysmon driver. And this is where we can spot that configuration in the parameters hive. And we've got hashing algorithm over here, options and rules, which, well, I'm happy to, of course, explain everything step by step. But we could also export the registry settings. That is another option. But maybe we would like to impact that configuration. So for now, over here in the registry, it could be a little bit difficult. That's why what we did, we have written a tool, cqu config. And cqu config allows you to export the configuration to the file. So we can do -e, export config xml, and this export config xml is the file that we can use in order to play with the configuration. So this is the configuration that we were playing with before. Now, what is interesting when we will play with the different types of Sysmon log files is that we are able at that stage, for example, to export the hashes. So I got here cqu.sysmon hash extract, and this tool allows us to specify, for example, the current log file that we got, and also we can specify output file where we will have the list of hashes within the file. It's going to take a while, but let's do it. So in our case, it's going to be cqu.sysmon hash extract -l minus, and we can specify -o for out, and we can specify the certain file, which will be out file, let's see, txt. And for now, it's, as I mentioned, it's going to take a little bit of time because my log is big. Here we go, not too long. And in our out file .txt, we will have a list of the hashes being exported, and that's something that you can upload to VirusTotal, or you can work on those hashes a little bit, parse them in a different way, and put them into your own analysis. So these are the hashes. But for example, what we can do over here as well is that we can use the VirusTotal checker. This is the software, that's not the one that we wrote, but you can download this from the internet. And VirusTotal checker will allow us to submit VirusTotal checker will allow us to submit different types of hashes into VirusTotal. We can do that as well. I have prepared already a list of hashes for us so that it's going to be a little bit faster. Let's check out the options first. So over here we can specify the file containing hashes. That's what we would like to use. And we will also specify the output. So we would like to use that dot for the current directory. And we will also specify the mode, and we will choose the mode caching. And we will be uploading files, so those hashes into, and we will be uploading hashes into VirusTotal, and these hashes will be from the list. So let's dig in. So we've got VirusTotal checker, and we will specify -m caching and -file, and I got here hashes 2.txt. And we will specify the output dot, and we are ready. So it takes a little bit of time. I will use this opportunity to mention over here that in order to be able to do that, of course you need to request for your key. It's your private key from the VirusTotal that allows you to submit this data. You can fill in the form, you can just sign in on the VirusTotal website, and that is the file, the private key that you need to configure in the parent folder where you've got the VirusTotal checker.exe. But that is absolutely easy. This key is for free, but when it's free you can only upload 4 items at the same time. When you're going to pay for it, you can do this pretty much simultaneously. Yeah? So you choose. I'm using the free one. Yes, so for the demo purpose, you can check it by yourself and have the same experience as I do have right now over here. So that takes a little bit of time because I've got not a very long actually in this time list of hashes. Some of those hashes on the list will be spotted by VirusTotal as a malicious software. So we're going to leave this result for the moment, and after a while we're going to get back to it, and then we're going to see if it discovered something or not. Okay, using this opportunity, let's dig into another demo, which will be related with extracting from event log information about different types of IP addresses that I am connecting with. So different processes that I have running in Windows are connecting within the network, and I would like to know exactly which ones and with what kind of IP addresses. Yeah, so this is the data that I would like to get. So in order to do that, I need to, of course, get access to the event log. And for now, what we will be playing with is the tool that we wrote as well. So let me get into my folder. So it's going to be users, Pola, documents, Sysmon. Here we go. And the tool is called Sysmon Net Analyzer. And Sysmon Net Analyzer is the one that allows us to analyze the log. So let's have a look. So we've got a dir, and this is where we've got a Sysmon files, and out where we're gonna have the output file. So let's do it. So in our case, it's gonna be dir, and it's gonna be C Windows System 32, and this is the one that we have. This is the path from the clipboard, and out, and we're gonna name it, for example, sysmonnet.txt. So let's extract it. So as I said, and again, this one also is going to take a little bit of time, because what we are doing for now, we are analyzing the log and extracting the IP addresses, or the full information from the log, but focusing on IP addresses, what I've been communicating with by now. So I got a couple of thousands of events. So at that stage, actually, I would like to show you the log. We will not wait for that because it's going to be a long time. But I have already output ready, and I am importing this to Excel. So for now, that log looks like this. We've got here the log file. We do next, and we've got it very easy to import. So we will just press next and just finish, and this is how our log file looks like. So we are importing right now from the really big piece of data the different types of connections that we got over here. Of course, on the top of that, we can build a very nice table, and this will allow us in a very comfortable way to sort out, like, for example, if I don't want to have Fiddler, okay, if I don't want to have Adobe. So we are able to unselect different kinds of items so that we don't want to analyze, and then we will be left with different types of executables that are interesting for us to analyze why they were communicating within the network. But what's my point? My point is that there is a column, it's called destination IP, and let's take it, and I'm just going to copy the whole column, and I will go to the tool which is called IPNet Info. This is the tool that you can get from Nearsoft. Since it's already there, we decided not to write our own tool. And when we go to IP, I can paste the whole data over here. I can remove the beginning. And what the tool will do, it will filter out all the internal IP addresses, so 192, 168, and so on. And it will only leave the external ones, and it will analyze them by verifying who is the owner of an IP addresses, different types of IP addresses. As you see right now, we are performing the verification of what we were in total communicating with. So the top IP addresses that I've got, I can select one of those, and we can see that this is a Microsoft Corporation. We can see, of course, who is the owner. We can see all the information that we got from arin.net, so how we are able to communicate with the owner of the IP address, and so on. Yes, but we've got also a couple of other networks. Like you see here, we've got another one, and then we are also able to verify what and who is the owner of particular IP address. So as you see, my list is actually pretty big over here. It's going to take a little bit of time for the verification, but at the end you will have a complete list that you can use, and if you don't like something, then you can block that on the firewall. Yes. Okay, so this is the analysis. Let's have a look at the very end of the presentation. Is there something interesting from the hashes list that was discovered? Absolutely. Number of hashes checked, we've got 75, we've got duration, and eventually we've got over here information about that particular finding over here, and this is what was running, is Mimikatz, and 33 currently of 57 different types of antivirus engine providers said that this is probably something not cool. And here we've got information about what was that. Okay, so we have analyzed, well, 3 tools over here. One was the one to export Sysmon configuration so that you can play with it later on if you updated configuration several times. Then basically it will be great if you had a final file somewhere. Maybe you can use it also as a backup. Another tool that we used over here was the one that allowed us to play with hashes. So export hashes, but you can do it also in many different ways. You can even use log parser on the top of your EVT X file. There is a log parser -i :EVT option to play with the EVT X files, and you can use as well some other parser to extract MD5s, for example, so the hashes, or you can use our file, our tool. And another one is the cq Sysmon net analyzer, which is, to be sincere, my favorite, and that we are able to export with it different type of network related events. And if it's about external tools, we have used the virus total checker.exe, which is a free tool which you can download from the internet.
Okay, so this is it. That's Sysmon. I hope you like it. Make sure that if you get any questions or comments, post them in our comments section. And don't forget about the webinar I will be doing on the 26th of October. Stay tuned for more information. Looking forward to see you.